Welcome to another episode of the Body and Mind Sports Show. As always, I'm your host, The Mind, and Winby is my co-host, The Body.
Hello there.
Body, welcome to the show.
Thanks, Mind.
Yeah, thanks for the good old NFL, where we're basically at the midpoint mark.
It's to get the bad and the ugly.
Good, bad, and the ugly, that's right. Every team is going to get ranked in one of those three slots.
We were going to do some, and I think we just started running through all of them.
We can't.
We can't help ourselves.
Can't help ourselves. We're unstoppable, incorrigible.
Unbelievable, unflappable.
Oh, unflappable.
Undeniable.
Oh, I'd like to deny myself sometimes.
Unsavory.
So let's start with the good. Let's start with good news. We like good news.
Good news is good. That's why it's good news.
Oh, so the most goodest of the good, the New England Patriots, you say?
Oh, that's goodly.
They apparently have a really good quarterback that you think is underrated.
Oh, yeah. Or other people overrated. Oh, this enraged me last week. The whole Tom Brady versus Aaron Rodgers, who's the GOAT. You know what? Really like Aaron Rodgers. And he, first ballot Hall of Famer, undeniably deserves it. But this whole talk last week, who's really the GOAT? Who would you take in the last 2 minutes if you needed to win a game? And then the support, Rodgers hasn't had the support around him that Brady has. Now, I know he hasn't had Belichick, but not having the support around him. Let's review the support situation. Rodgers has had Jordy Nelson. Did he have Donald Driver for a while? Did Driver carry over from the Favre or not?
Geez, that's a good question, actually. I'm not sure if Driver...
He has Devontae Adams right now.
Yeah, he's got Devontae Adams right now. Yeah. He's got Jimmy Graham.
Jimmy Graham right now.
Yeah. At one time, even Cobb was a good receiver.
Yeah.
For like one season.
Mm-hmm. So he's had some good players with him.
Yeah.
At receiver. For some reason, I'm thinking he even had one other good tight end in there somewhere.
He might have. I'm sure he's dead now, though.
Yeah. Oh, you know what? He had Greg Jennings.
I knew
he had James Jones.
Ooh.
So he's had some good receivers. And I know when he struggled, it's all about Rodgers' supporting cast. Let's go through Brady's supporting cast.
Oh, he's got Chris Hollywood Hogan there right now.
Oh, he's got Chris Hogan. He's got Josh Gordon, but Josh Gordon's still trying to bounce back from what he was in Cleveland.
He's a bit nutty as a fruitcake right now.
He's got Gronkowski, but Gronkowski's hurt. Yep. Gets hurt.
He's got like a fiddler crab, actually, with that giant elbow thing he's got going.
I mean, Julian Edelman's been great for him, but let's put this in perspective. Does Edelman do for anyone else what he's done for Brady?
Nuh-uh.
No. Wes Welker did great for Brady and Manning, but we've done that well under anyone else?
Nuh-uh.
No.
Nope.
Chris Hogan's good, but really, what's he under anyone else? When Brady won his first Super Bowls, it was with Troy Brown, David Patton, Deion Branch, who was a Super Bowl MVP. But the deal with the Super Bowl MVP here, goes to Seattle as a free agent, comes back a couple of years later because he was a complete bust in Seattle. This was because of Brady. Take nothing away from Aaron Rodgers. Great quarterback, as I said, first ballot Hall of Famer. But saying he has a weaker supporting cast than Brady, I think it's a lot closer than people give it credit for, than people think. And when you put up 8 Super Bowl appearances, 5 wins against 2 Super Bowl appearances, 1 win, I'm sorry, but Tom Brady's the GOAT, and Rodgers isn't even in discussion with them. And just hearing that last week infuriated me to absolutely no end whatsoever.
Couldn't agree more. Well done.
Thank you.
And that was a good rant and a justifiable one.
Thank you.
Because I feel the same. There are far too many people. I don't know if it's just jealousy or if they're just tired of the Patriots winning all the time. But yeah, I find that there's people who underrate Tom Brady's greatness. And yeah, everything he's done, I think it's pretty easy to say he's the greatest NFL quarterback ever.
Yeah.
Yeah.
like I said, when he won his 5th one, that made him the GOAT.
Yeah.
Especially the way he came back against the Falcons. Even winning 5 wasn't going to make him the GOAT for me, but the way he won number 5, that made him the GOAT to me.
Single-handedly destroying an entire city.
Yes, and I didn't even want to give it to him because I've given it to Montana for years, but I had to give it up to him after that.
Last time they did that, it was called the Roman Empire.
Yes.
All right, so New England, they're the good, and with good reason.
Yes. And it's undeniable.
Oh, here we go again. Other teams we've got in the good. We've got Pittsburgh.
They're starting to win. Actually, I saw something this week where Connor so far this year has better stats than Le'Veon Bell had at this time last year, including receiving.
That's not good for contract negotiations.
No, it's not. No, it's not.
Guy making league minimum. Guy who wants, what does he want?
I can't remember what. But and apparently,
I think it's 18 million.
And apparently next year, Pittsburgh can put the transition tag on him, which downs him to $9 million.
Transition?
The transition tag. I've heard of it. I don't know exactly how it works. It's not the same as a franchise tag.
On Bell?
Yeah, so they could actually give him like half of what they have to give him under the franchise tag.
Oh my
if
lord!
He doesn't play this year.
If this continues, it's going to get a point where Le'Veon Bell is going to be paying the Steelers to play football.
Well, yeah, and the way Connor's playing, they're in no desperate need.
I think that boy needs to just
come back for this year. Come back.
Just come back, man. Like, come back, get your money, because this is getting worse for you.
Yeah, just come back.
Oh, my Lord.
I can see why he did it, but it's like, you know what? It's time just to tap out already.
Yeah. Yeah.
Even if your teammates don't like you and you're on the bench, just get through the year so you can go somewhere else next year.
Yeah, and then you get paid. Next team we have on the good list, Houston. Good old Texans.
6 in a row.
I know I was worried.
After losing 3 in a row.
Yeah, so that's incredible.
That's been done in a long time. I can't remember the last team to do it.
Well, I know they always throw the stat every year that teams that go 0-2 to start the season are like, miss the playoffs something like 80% of the time.
And 0-3 gets even crazier.
Yeah, it's probably like 99%. Mm-hmm. So we might be witnessing the 1% that it happens. Hey, the Houston Texans are the 1%ers. The 1%ers.
Could that be a sign?
All right, it's not just EC3.
No, that could be a sign.
Could be a sign. Ooh, there's a bet coming here. Ooh, odds. I know my concern with the Texans mostly was to do with Deshaun Watson, if he could recover from that horrible knee injury. So far, so good.
He struggled early, but he's been playing better since they've leaned on the running game more and not have him throw 40 times a game.
And that's a beautiful thing because, that doesn't work for anybody.
No, even if he's not a dominant running game, it's enough of a running game to keep them honest.
Speaking of honest, there is nothing honest about the next team. Kansas City.
Unbelievable. There's a video game team.
This is another video game team. These are the Golden State Warriors of the NFL right now.
By the way, I don't know the date of it. Mexico City is going to get a great NFL game this year. Mexico City's getting the Chiefs and the Rams.
Wow. Finally, I guess that's after suffering all those years.
Is it the Raiders showing up in Mexico City?
Titans and Raiders. Oh, my.
Oh, they get a treat this year.
Oh, that should be a fun game. It should be a fun game.
Scoreboard should be just completely off the charts.
Yeah, and especially since Mexico, I know they have issues as well with
altitude.
Yeah, altitude.
Mm-hmm.
So there'll be that altitude as well to mess with their minds.
Yeah, who prepares for it better?
Yeah, and the ball I think should travel even better. So this will be interesting. Kansas City. Yeah, just I guess getting rid of Alex Smith and replacing Mahomes.
Mm-hmm. And their defense still hasn't been that good, but it's been getting progressively better.
Well, they're only allowing 30 points a game now instead of 40. So
that's progress.
That's progress. Yeah. Progress. Speaking of progress, the Los Angeles Chargers.
There's another team on a winning streak.
Kind of a sneaky 6-2.
And they've done it without Bosa a good chunk of the year.
Oh, yeah.
And some injuries.
Yeah.
And they did without Gordon for a few weeks.
Yeah. Even he did the injury thing.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, there's a
You
team.
think about the Chargers are well, not far behind the Chiefs.
And that's the thing, and that's why I call them sneaky, because it hasn't felt dominant.
No.
It seems like they've snuck through a few wins.
With that running game and dedication to it, it's the perfect thing against the Chiefs when they face them too.
Well, that's the thing.
Because you keep the ball away from them.
Well, that's the thing. So you got this phenomenal running game, because Melvin Gordon is like top 5, top 3 running back in the league. So yeah, you kill time, keep it away from them. And then when the running game needs some help, they got this Phillip Rivers fellow. Mm-hmm. He's not bad at quarterback.
Oh no, he's all right.
He's pretty good at distributing the ball.
Mm-hmm.
So he can make a drive. And yeah, there's a team that, you want to score points? We can score points.
Mm-hmm.
And boy, oh boy, their defense seems like it's slowly starting to become a real defense again.
Oh, Melvin Ingram's really coming on as a pass rusher. Wait till they get Bosa back.
And Bosa is coming back. He's not going to miss the whole year.
No.
So he comes back, and gets, I don't know, half a season, somewhere 6-7 games in, just in time to get ready for the playoffs.
Yeah.
A nice, refreshed, healthy
Joey Bosa,
ready for the playoffs and angry that he had to miss games.
Yes.
Woe to any team that faces this defense. Washington, you want this team as a sneaky good team. A team on the rise.
A sneaky good team, but they can follow to good. They're not great, but they're like, if they lose at Tampa this week, they're no longer a good team.
Okay, so
kind of thing. But they're kind of like hanging on right now.
They're hanging on by like fingernails.
I think a very good defense that, every once in a while could have a disappointing game, but a decent defense.
All right.
And Adrian Peterson in the running game, and Alex Smith is underrated.
There's a feel-good story. AP back in the NFL. And playing like his Minnesota days.
Well, feel-good story, because Adrian Peterson and his comeback, and Alex Smith still playing well after getting discarded by the Chiefs.
Mm-hmm. There's the one thing still about Alex Smith that just blows my mind is how good he is as a running quarterback.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't think no one ever really talks about that.
Which is funny, because he came out of college as a running quarterback.
Yeah, but in the NFL, people just talk about him as a good game manager and that sort of thing. And yet every year you look at his running stats and he's getting over 500 rushing yards every year, which is amazing. Like, when you think about it, like a good running back gets 1,000 yards.
Yes.
And that's his only job, is to run. That's it.
Mm-hmm.
The quarterback, his main job is to pass the ball.
Well, put it this way,
or hand it off to the running back.
Brady's still coming up on 1,000 career rushing yards. I think he's at 998 or 999 right now.
Hopefully he plays for a couple more years and he can finally get to that 1,000.
Well, he nails enough quarterback sneaks. He should get it sometime in November, I think.
This year?
Oh, he's a quarterback sneak guy, though. There's a yard for you.
You think he can get 2 yards running this year?
Oh, yeah.
Wow.
Have you seen how much he takes to quarterback sneak?
See, fans.
That's probably where 990 of his yards are.
See, fans, if you don't realize this, Canada recently passed a law where smoking cannabis is now legal. Obviously, our friend, the body here, has been imbibing a bit too much before the show here.
Actually, I didn't have any tonight.
2 yards. In a single season, 2 yards.
How many times do you see him run the quarterback sneak in a year?
Never!
You're not watching New England.
I beg to differ. I've seen Tom Brady run, and when he runs, it's like when Bill...
Yeah, you're thinking run out of the pocket scramble. Who's the one dipping into the wacky right now?
It's when Bill Beer used to run. It'd be like creating craters with every step.
I'm talking quarterback sneak, and you have this weird delusion of him running around trying to be Michael Vick. I'm talking you take the snap, and you go between the guard and the center and pick up a yard on 4th and half a yard.
Usually when Tom Brady takes the snap, and he does anything but drop back to throw the ball.
It's a quarterback sneak!
He gets tackled!
Yeah, after a 1 yard gain.
What 1 yard game? It's like a 0 yard game.
No, he's the king of the quarterback sneak.
You are a crazy person.
Nobody in the league is better at the quarterback sneak than Tom Brady.
A crazy person.
Nobody.
I'm talking to a crazy person.
You're not talking to yourself.
Crazy.
He'll get 1,000 before the year's up.
Madness.
That's right.
Madness. I can't see anything. There's so much smoke in here.
Oh, when he hits it, I'm gonna just ride it out on this show again.
All right, I'm gonna be here to hear it.
Well, I should hope so. We're in your house.
Speaking of this house,
which you quite frankly don't even allow me to smoke it. And rightfully so.
Speaking of this house, Philadelphia. They have not been protecting this house.
No.
But you think they're still a good team.
They're that team. I'm giving them benefit of the doubt because of their champs, and I love the Golden Tate trade. Mm-hmm. Concerned though about the running game.
Oh, you mean getting an all-star receiver and giving up nothing in return?
Oh, that's a great deal.
That's a pretty good deal. I'd do that deal.
By the way, I want to say something about Detroit here. What are they doing?
I don't know.
2 weeks ago, they go out and get Harrison from the Giants, the premier run stuffer. Mm-hmm. You're making a commitment to win. A week later, after you make a deal with a commitment to win, you trade Golden Tate.
Out of here. You know why? Because he's not committed to winning.
That's why you sent him to the champs?
That's why you sent him to the defending champs. Because the defending champs do not have a commitment to winning.
1 week we're committed to winning, the next week we're rebuilding.
We've already won enough.
There's a team with what we call direction.
Yes, it's like the referees in that infamous Seattle Green Bay game.
Wasn't that a Golden Tate play?
Well, it was a Golden Tate play.
Yeah.
Where the refs...
That's the one that brought the regular crew back from the slot.
That was after the refs. That was during the lockout.
Yeah, that's the one that brought the refs back.
Yeah, during that Golden Tate touchdown, you had two refs that at the same time, each one said touchdown, the other said no touchdown at the exact same time. Their arms crisscrossed in midair.
Where you find Golden Tate, you find misdirection.
Misdirection is everywhere. So Philly, you still hold out hope because they're the champs and they get the champion's advantage.
Yeah, but that lack of a running game does concern me.
All right. Another team that we've put in the good category is Chicago.
They're even winning without Khalil Mack.
Yeah, it's true. Yeah. Yeah, he's getting worried that he might not have a job anymore.
We might not be the best defender in the NFL anymore because Aaron Donald's going nuts now.
Yeah, very true.
Though Mitch Trubisky every week seems to pass for 200 and run for 40 or 50.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Trubisky is a strange case here because Chicago's winning and they're putting up lots of points, except like this weekend, it was their defense was putting up a whole whackload of points.
I'm beginning to think if you keep Trubisky in the pocket, though, you slow him down. With Mahomes, you can keep him there, he'll do damage. I really think if you keep Trubisky in the pocket, you got it in gear. Yeah,
Trubisky, he's a strange critter here because it's like you look at his stats week after week, and they're like, 1 or 2 touchdowns, somewhere around 200 yards. There's nothing spectacular, but they keep winning. Mm-hmm. And the offense keeps doing enough. It's almost like the offense is kind of just getting out of the defense's way and not costing them the game. Mm-hmm. So far, so good.
Yeah.
Minneapolis, you think this is a good team. Why? Explain yourself.
Well, Everson Griffin's back. Danielle Hunter's the league leader in sacks. Xavier Rhodes is back. So I think the defense is coming back now. That defense I love at home that's okay on the road. They're putting up points with Cousins and that. They won this week without Diggs in the lineup. 5-3. They're loaded with talent. I think they're a good team.
All right. The Aints. I guess they're a good team. New Orleans, they just beat the Rams, so I guess they deserve a place here.
Oh, yeah. They're having a great year.
All defenders, I guess the word is out. You're not allowed to tackle Drew Brees this year. Because I've even seen, talking about doing quarterback sneaks, I saw him do like a 20-yard quarterback sneak one game.
That was unbelievable.
And he somehow did the slowest spinorama I've ever seen on 2 defenders. And he's actually still got around them.
Yeah.
I don't know why they didn't tackle him, but obviously you're not allowed to.
Yeah, the Saints are just rolling right now. And the thing that's even more impressive is the week before against Minnesota, they did it with Breeze passing for an unlikely 120 that game and did it with the running game. So even when Breeze isn't, been talking the last couple of years how the Saints are relying on the running game more, but they really proved that even when Breeze isn't slinging it, they can win. And Michael Thomas looks absolutely unstoppable at receiver.
And the New Orleans defense is also starting to show their mettle.
And they're playing really well against the run and better against the pass.
Another team that's forever had actually pretty good defense and questionable offense, Carolina.
Offense is playing better now. That Norv Turner hiring has worked out much better than I expected. One thing I noticed with Carolina, there seems to be a core of people when they're in the lineup that they need. They need Newton. They need Greg Olsen. Can't remember. They have one really good offensive lineman. They're not the same when he's not in there. Thomas Davis, Luke Kuechly, and Lute at the front, one of their defensive tackles. But of that six, the main ones I noticed, though, Kuechly, if he's not there, and then Newton and Olsen. You notice how much different a team they've been since Greg Olsen's come back.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
Now, I wouldn't call Olsen the best player in the league, and he's not going to get votes for this. Obviously, in that league with like Tom Brady, Aaron Rodgers, Patrick Mahomes, and others. But if you really think of Carolina with and without him, he really actually deserves MVP votes. Think of Carolina without him, not near the same team. They're nearly unbeatable when he's there.
That's an interesting observation because people have talked how important he is and how good a player he is, but no one's ever talked about him being the team MVP. It's always Cam Newton. That's always the first thought you hear.
Even look, like they're a much better team with Newton and whoever their backup quarterback is, but there's even been times over the years when Derek Anderson came out and won a couple games with them.
Yep.
They almost can't seem to buy wins when Olsen's not in the lineup.
Yep, very true. Great receiver, just great at
everything
overall.
And Newton's security blanket.
Oh yeah. It's a good call. Hopefully the NFL listens.
Definitely they shouldn't be winning the MVP because there's too many other players, but somebody give them some votes, even second or third, like something.
Yeah. Another team that you like in the good pile, despite their 4-4 record, the Atlanta Falcons.
Was it 3 wins in a row? Can the Falcons be finally bouncing back? And especially since everyone's given up on them.
Yep.
And they're winning. They're severely banged up and they keep winning. Julio Jones finally catches a touchdown pass.
Hey!
Ooh, still not big on the Sarkisian thing there, but you can't deny the 3 straight wins. They're that team right now, though. They got to keep the winning streak up because I think even just a loss knocks them back out of that pile right now. But they did win in Washington, and Washington's a really good home team.
And interestingly enough, of all the teams in the league with a...
Because remember, this is good, not great, we're talking.
That's right. All the teams in the league with a 500 or better record, Atlanta has the smallest point differential. Their points for and against, they're +2.
They're winning ugly.
They're +2. Ugly. And last, on the good pile, we have the LA Rams.
Oh, yeah, they're definitely good.
Good defense, good offense.
Great offense.
Good running back.
Great running back.
The quarterback apparently knows where the sun rises now.
He's proved me wrong. But I love the job McVay's done there, too.
Yeah, so, Rams, what more can be said? Just good all around. All right, well, we've done the good. How about we go to the bad?
One other thing about the Rams, people underrate is special teams. They've had a really good place kicker, a really good punter. They've had the same special teams coach for years, even the Jeff Fisher era. The guy used to pull all those fakes before. They still do it under McVay. Actually, interestingly, I don't know how much of that Saints-Rams game you watched, but when the Rams lined up and they did that fake field goal attempt the Saints shut down, I was impressed with the Saints because as the Rams were lining up, I was thinking, I don't think they'll do it here. But I would still defend against the fake. It was a close field goal. It's like I'd give them the 3 and defend against the fake. Even though I don't think they'll fake here, they have such a habit for doing it of punts and field goals.
Yeah.
Like anytime they're in that position, there might be sometimes I come after with them, but generally I think against the Rams most of the time I'm playing and getting ready for any fakes or any chicanery.
Interesting. Good point. Good point. I like it. Give them some love to the special teams. So we've given love. Now it's time to take it away from some teams. We're looking at the bad.
Oh.
These are teams that are just perennially just bad year after year. So this is where they belong. Or teams that are just plain disappointing us. So let's start with Miami. This is a perennial bad team.
Oh, yeah, bad year after year.
They're bad year after year.
They're 5-4 right now, but I think they're a fraud.
Yeah, I do too. This seems like a fraudulent 5-4 on its way to being 6-10.
Yeah, maybe 7-9 if things break right.
Oh, you have faith. All right, I like it.
If things break right.
Good. I like it. Faith, hope is a good thing.
I could care less. They could finish 5-11 for all I care.
Speaking of hope or hopeless, the one, the only Cincinnati Bengals.
Actually, both of us will be slamming our teams during this segment.
Oh, will we ever. Cincinnati Bengals technically are having a good season, second in the AFC North, barf, and 5-3-0. And this being in a division which has Cleveland, enough said. Baltimore, who is
who I seem to put the kiss of death on about 2 or 3 weeks ago.
Oh, they're just falling flat on their face.
Yeah. Well, ever since that missed point after against New Orleans.
Yep. And the Steelers, who've been unimpressive.
But they're starting to come around.
That's the thing. So
they're winning now.
So even in this division of really like misfits, like Cincinnati still can't pull ahead and get going.
Well, here's what's probably going to happen with the Steelers.
Bah.
This is the yearly thing.
Oh.
They're going to keep winning and winning. And then they're going to have some loss. Then there's going to be some type of discord in the locker room or something. Because there always is. And then that week of discord, whatever it is, whether it's Antonio Brown, Roethlisberger, Le'Veon Bell comes back and him and offensive lineman are screwed, whatever.
Yeah.
It's going to be something, the Steelers are falling apart. And then they'll come out and smoke someone. Because that's what the Steelers do. When it looks worse, that's when they get.
That's when they rise.
Yeah.
That's true. Because I remember last season, things are going bad for them.
This has gone on year after year. It goes on with them. Yeah.
Yeah. Last season was going bad for them, and they're playing a game in Kansas City, and nobody gave them a shot, written them off. Oh no, it's the end. Except this guy.
Yes, this guy.
Except that guy right there.
For that reason.
For the body, he said, nope.
That's when the Steelers win, because I've been burned by that myself so many times.
Yeah,
that I finally had learned.
You said, hold on there. Don't listen to that foolishness. They will go to Kansas City and they will prove me right by winning. And so they did. They went to KC that year, last year there in that game, and they demolished Kansas City. Yeah. It wasn't a close game. They crushed them.
And generally the thing is the Steelers will it'll be smooth sailing for a while, and then all of a sudden there'll be that foolishness.
Yep.
So I expect smooth sailing, the foolishness, and then bang, someone pays for their foolishness.
Yeah, I like it. Well, that's the Steelers nutshell. The Bengals are the exact opposite of that team. It's the topsy-turvy of that team.
Yes.
Because the Bengals, they are a fraud at 5-3 because they have Marvin Lewis. And so the reason they're a fraud is because they have Marvin Lewis. And it's interesting because I was looking up the stats, and, Hugh Jackson of Cleveland was finally fired the other day. I think more of a mercy kill than anything. And I came to the realization that both Hugh Jackson and Marvin Lewis have a very powerful stat in common.
Oh, I got to hear this.
Amazingly enough, despite, both coaches seeming to have vastly opposite careers, they both have exactly 0 playoff victories.
Oh, yes.
Both. Now, Hugh Jackson, it took him 2.5 years to achieve 0 playoff victories. And Marvin Lewis has been doing this for 16.5 years, still without a single playoff victory.
Part of those 16.5 of Hugh Jackson as his offensive coordinator.
That's true. So that is a force for ungood. It's a force for failure.
That is a source for unfortunate.
And part of the reason, when I look at the Cincinnati schedule, you might think, but they're 5-3, they can do well. Really? Let's have a look at the rest of their schedule, shall we? Next up, New Orleans.
Loss.
After that, in Baltimore. Loss.
If Baltimore comes back around, yeah.
It's a loss. Cincinnati never wins in Baltimore. I think the last time they won in Baltimore is when they were called the Colts. And even then, it was probably like a team probably before Cincinnati. They were probably called something else. It's probably the Ohioans that probably went and beat the Colts in Baltimore.
Okay, so
lost. So they're 5-5 now.
Okay.
Then Cleveland comes at Cincinnati. You would think, Cincinnati should win. No.
You're not even convinced about this?
This will be the game in which everyone has written off Cleveland and, Cincinnati just had 2 losses in a row. They're going to come back. No. This is when Baker is going to get angry.
His first road... No, he nearly had the one road one.
He nearly had, but this one will be a for sure road victory.
Actually, no, that was a road one for him, wasn't it? Or against the Jets?
No, he didn't win anything.
No,
he's won.
Both wins were on the road.
Yeah. They got a tie.
But he's got to get, but he's got to get his road win.
And Cincinnati is the place for that road win.
You think so?
The Ohio matchup, this just screams like total upset. Massive upset. So now they're now 5-6.
Okay.
Then Denver comes to Cincinnati. This one I'm on the fence on.
Yeah, I give your Bengals this one.
I think the Bengals could actually win this
I know you
one.
don't like Marvin Lewis, but come on. Vance Joseph is coming to town. Come on, man.
Yeah, come on, man. So they're 6-6. Then they go to the LA Clippers.
Oh, that's a loss.
6-7. Thankfully, then the gods give them Oakland at home.
There's a win for you.
7-7. That'll be like.
You're welcome.
Yeah, thank you. That'll be 60-3, I think. So they're 7-7 now, and now the last 2 games at Cleveland and at Pittsburgh.
At Cleveland, I could see them losing. I'm not convinced about Cleveland going there to win, but.
And at Pittsburgh. So
depends on Pittsburgh's playoff positioning.
So that's the thing with those 2 games right now. Before those 2, they're at 7-7. The best they can do, I figure, is 8-8. But I think 7-9 will be their final record.
Which is what you kind of called the beginning of the year, wasn't it?
Yep. Actually, no. At the beginning of the year, I predicted an offer.
Oh yeah, for them because I thought you were out of your mind for that.
Yeah. And I still think I was right. These 5 wins have been a fraud. So yeah, Cincinnati. Again, they're on the bad pile and realistic, and I would love to put them in the ugly pile because they just bring out the ugly in me. Usually, I'm a loving person. Stop laughing.
Not a Marvin Lewis.
Baltimore.
He's the man you love to hate.
He is the man I love to hate. For 5 years, I've been hating this man. And for 5 years, he's proven me right. The next team we have in the bad pile, Baltimore. They deserve to be here, yes?
Man, they were my Super Bowl pick about 3 weeks ago, but now they're, on a 3-game losing streak, is it?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, if they could win one and get it going, it seems like they really affect them when Tucker missed that point after against the Saints. Plus, Pittsburgh this week, I didn't even realize it till the day before the game. They went into the Pittsburgh game with 2 missing offensive tackles. And the way Pittsburgh comes at you, that's a big loss. Right now, they're bad, but they could come back to get if they could start rallying wins again. I think they need a win to get their confidence going again.
Yeah, I also thought that Baltimore was going to be a sneaky Super Bowl contender. So I'm also very surprised and disappointed.
It could still happen, but it's not looking good right now.
Yeah. Next on the bad list, we have Tennessee.
Who could go up to good?
But this is a team you have hope.
Yeah, they could go up to good. A couple weeks ago, that loss in London to the Chargers may have been a good thing in the long run. The call by Vrabel to go for the 2-pointer. That could be the type of play that messes you up for a year, but I think they turned it into a positive because a couple things happened. I think one, like you said, Vrabel showed faith in his team. The other thing was Vrabel put it on himself. And I think once he put it on himself, you have the whole team rally around you. And I wanted to see how they respond when they came off their bye and played Dallas, and they responded.
Yeah.
So I think that could be trending to good soon, but I want to give it more time.
Love it. Next in the bad pile is Indianapolis.
Yeah, bad, but I think both of us expected this. I think this is bad for now, but trending upward in years to come.
Yeah.
So it's one of those bad, but there should be no shame in this bad.
Nope. No, they have 3 wins, and if it weren't for Andrew Luck, they have 0 wins.
Yeah.
Dallas, we have them in the bad pile.
Yeah, I thought they might turn around, but losing to Tennessee at home, that was huge.
Yeah, that was crushing. I
That
thought
was huge.
getting Amari Cooper and everything, thought that, okay, here's the spark.
Mm-hmm.
But boy, oh boy, I don't know what's happening with that team, but there's still no spark.
No.
Maybe it'll come. Maybe it's just game 1 with their fancy new shiny receiver. So maybe next game. But for now, you bad.
Yeah.
Speaking of bad, surprise, surprise, Green Bay.
Yeah, I don't think they're a horrible team, but in the good or the bad, I think they should be a bit better than they are. I didn't understand the Clinton Dix deal.
Yeah.
But, I mean, call this out for what it is. I'm not blaming Aaron Rodgers for... Actually, Aaron Rodgers is the only reason they have a good record. Well, I wouldn't say good record. He's the only reason they have the record they do.
Yep.
And having said that, if you have Aaron Rodgers on your team and you are, 4-5, I believe they are?
They're 3-4-1.
3-4-1. I knew it was under 500.
Mm-hmm.
If you got Aaron Rodgers and you're under 500, you don't have that good a team around him, I don't think.
Mm-mm. And plus, the NFL still isn't allowing Clay Matthews to sack quarterbacks.
No. Actually, they got jobbed again against New England this week.
Of course they did.
There was one of their players, I can't remember, it was one of their members of their secondary, because they were playing better with 6 defensive backs in. They went with two linebackers and then 5 DBs, and they're getting burned by New England's backs on the passing game. They went to 6 DBs. They were playing better, but I guess they only had the 6. One of them backhanded a Patriot in the face. 15-yard penalty. Ooh. Deserved the 15. What he didn't deserve, they automatically just kicked him out.
Jeez.
And it wasn't the type of thing that should get you kicked out. And they got jobbed by that guy getting kicked out. I can't remember which player it was.
Yeah.
So they got jobbed in New England with that, but still 3-4-1. Yeah, you got Aaron Rodgers should be better than 3-4-1.
Oh yeah.
So yeah, you go in the bad pile.
Deservedly. Next team deserving the bad pile, Detroit.
Oh yeah. Matthew Stafford can't play good teams. Trade away Golden Tate. You're under 500. Typical Detroit.
Yeah.
Move on.
I like it. Typical Tampa Bay.
Oh yeah. Score points, give up more points. You score, turn the ball over. Their cutter's still the coach. Yeah.
Seattle. They're surprisingly bad this year, or are they?
No, they're about where I expected to be. They're kind of borderline good or bad, but I can't consider them a contender. They have a chance to still go to good.
Mm-hmm.
But right now, if I had to put in one of the two, I'd lean a bit towards the bad.
All right.
But I don't think they should be disappointed with where they are, and they could still make a run for maybe an outside playoff spot. So.
And you mentioned that, I guess, the one potential positive is their defense seems to be getting a little better.
It does,
it's not as bad as people thought it might be.
No, and I didn't think they'd be that bad. I think I said that at the start of the year.
Mm-hmm. Good. And finally, in the bad pile, we have San Francisco.
Oh, there's one other. Oh, yeah, we still got to get to the ugly.
Oh, we have ugly. Yeah. Oh, no.
San Francisco, I'm a Mueller fan.
Mm-hmm.
I've got to see more from this kid, but I just have a good. And I know it was against Oakland. I don't know. I just have a good feeling. The whole team loves him. He knows the playbook better than anyone but Shanahan.
And who doesn't love the backup to the backup?
Yeah. You got to back that up.
You got to back that up. But everybody's favorite player is the backup quarterback to the backup quarterback.
That's right.
Absolutely. Put down that clipboard, boy.
Put down that clipboard and grab a helmet and grab a ball. You're going to play.
You're playing football, boy.
Football. Huh? I was trying to write something down here. Go play ball, boy.
Get back in there, boy. I love it. All right, so we're finishing off with the ugly pile. Starting off with a solid ugly team, the Buffalo Bills.
2 wins is a fraud for this team.
It is a fraud.
Hey, did you have something to say about Nathan Peterman, or are you saving that for later?
Yes, I do.
You want to defend this guy.
I am prepared to defend Nathan Peterman.
Okay, I'm going to be open-minded. I want to hear this.
The pick machine.
How many did you throw this week?
3.
This man's like a walking Salvation Army.
He is. I do believe Peterman, I think he has in his career so far, I think he's got something like 3 touchdowns and 13 interceptions. So, not looking good.
No, it's a 4-to-1 ratio against and a bit more.
However, the interesting thing is this weekend's game against the Bears, obviously
without Khalil Mack.
Without Khalil Mack.
Still a good defense.
They got, absolutely lambasted and destroyed. However, Peterman threw 49 passes, which amazingly, so he was 31 to 49, and he had 189 yards, which is incredible.
They let him throw the ball 49 times?
49 times.
Okay, run the other stats. 31 to 49?
31 to 49.
I was surprised he got that much, and everything tuned out when I heard they actually let him throw the ball that much and he completed that much. Okay, what was the rest again?
31 to 49, so his completion ratio is pretty good. He had 189 yards, which goes to show how pitiful his receivers are, that you make 31 completed passes, and all you get is 189 yards. That is brutal.
That is Steve DeBerg on steroids.
Exactly. And on top of that, 3 interceptions, okay, they're bad. It looks bad. The problem is he's at fault for really 1 interception. His first interception was actually a completed pass that his receiver then went and dropped pretty much instantly.
Well, that's no shock.
So, boom. So, that's on the receiver. The second one, he throws a hard pass. Oh, no. He threw a hard pass. It was too hard. So,
how dare a receiver try to catch that?
So, of course, you can't expect that. So, it went off the receiver's fingers. And, of course, being Peterman's luck, it goes sailing right into the hands of a waiting Bear defender. So, those 2 interceptions, I can't put that on him because that's just cruel luck.
Yeah, so you got to give him a pass this week.
Yeah. So
the other weeks, not so much, but this week, I'll give him a pass.
So he did throw an interception. However, he also got the Buffalo Bills. They were on a 190-minute touchdown free zone and scored a touchdown 190 minutes.
In over 3 whole games.
Yeah.
In this day and age.
In this day and age.
That's bad in any day and age, but especially this day and age.
So the only person that scored the touchdown this week, Nathan Peterman. He ran this in. Not only did he run in the touchdown, the only touchdown they've had in over 3 games, the last time they scored a touchdown, it was Nathan Peterman that threw that touchdown pass.
Wow.
So since then, Josh Allen, Derek Anderson, 0 touchdowns there. It's Peterman that's been the only one contributing with any kind of a touchdown. And the craziest stat is you say, well, Buffalo has this really good running back, LaShawn McCoy.
But everyone just jumps on him. He's got nowhere to go.
Well, he had a grand total of 10 runs and 10 yards this week.
Well, yeah, there's nowhere to go because you don't have to defend the pass. And I'm not blaming that on Peterman because, of course, like you said, they have no receivers.
They have no receivers. But LaShawn McCoy, I'm wondering about him. Obviously, the O-line is terrible.
Yes. Actually, because they got rid of people from last year. The offensive line was going to be horrible coming in.
Yeah.
So no offensive line, no receivers.
Yeah.
So you put 8 against McCoy, and then your bad offensive line can't block the 8.
And here's the thing. And McCoy, this 2 weeks now. This week was 10 yards. The week before was 13 yards on 12 carries.
Buffalo really should have traded him to Philly because he's useless to them.
He is. He's averaging 1 yard per carry, which that usually doesn't even allow you to have a job in the NFL.
Because Philly was trying to get him pretty hard.
Yeah. So,
and I don't even put that on McCoy.
So once again, who was the rushing leader for the Buffalo Bills? Nathan Peterman, 48 yards.
Probably running for his life, but still getting it done.
Running for his life. So despite the fact that the pick machine has been functioning, has been going at all speeds.
I still think he sucks, but he sounds like the best of a bad lot.
He does. I think he's getting a raw deal here. I think of all the QBs they got right now, I think he's the one that they should let go for the rest of the year, no matter what. And I'm always reminded that Peyton Manning in year number 1 threw a truckload of interceptions, and he got past that. So our boy here, sure, he throws a lot of interceptions, but he's also got no receivers to throw to,
No offensive line.
no offensive line to protect or to open up running space. Yeah, it's one guy doing his absolute best, working with like nothing.
It's one man against the world, and the world is winning.
The world is dominating,
It's just beating him down,
beating him down. So I'm giving some love to Nathan Peterman.
I think those are some well brought up facts.
Thank you. So let's continue the ugly to the state of Ohio. Cleveland.
Cleveland.
The perennial ugly.
Well, the coach and the offensive coordinator were fighting, so they got rid of them both.
Mm-hmm.
When the head coach is a former offensive coordinator, you should really have his guy in there. Then Jackson gets better when he's fired and goes off in the organization.
Mm-hmm.
And yet there's still some unrest in the organization, apparently, because they're still divided into two camps even after the firing. Apparently Greg Williams not a big fan of John Dorsey. The guy running the offense right now, not lots of experience, which isn't great when you have a rookie quarterback. They got to figure out a coaching staff next year.
Yeah.
Dorsey's got to get a plan together.
This is incredible because this season there was so much hope that this would finally be the beginning of a turnaround.
It's just as big a mess as ever.
It just is. Ugh. Speaking of mess, team that we did not expect to see here, Jacksonville. Ugly season.
I think 4 things I'm going to touch on here.
All right.
When we were talking, this might be a step back season for them. We didn't know. It's going to be feast or famine. That's not even one of the 4, though.
Mm-hmm.
Bortles has looked like the thing you don't want to see Bortles look like.
Yep.
They lost their left tackle for a while. They're down to their 3rd left tackle.
Mm.
Leonard Fournette and the ever-nagging hamstring injury.
Mm-hmm.
And the one thing where I'm dead set on this, I still question our defensive coordinator's play calling.
Mm.
And that I know I'm alone on an island on this one. You have this great front 4.
Mm-hmm.
You have this great corners in the secondary. And I see all this zone.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm just losing my mind. I think you should have some zone in there because there's reasons not to always go man-to-man.
Yep.
When you got Jalen Ramsey and A.J. Boye, and I'm watching you drop back in the quarters coverage and 3 deep, and it's like, what are you thinking? Like, what are you thinking?
Mm.
You have 2 shutdown man-to-man corners.
Mm-hmm.
Play man-to-man. I'd even go press man-to-man and give my front 4 more time to get there sometimes.
Mm.
Like, basically, if I was running that defense, it'd be man-to-man with 1 safety up top. Sometimes a cover 2 man.
Yeah.
Sometimes a cover 2 zone just to catch him in the trap throwing a pass in the flat. And 3 deep zone if you want to change it up. That changes into man-to-man later. That would be about it.
Yeah.
Nothing complicated except for the few pressures you're going to bring in that. Not all this just sitting back.
Well, it's good points because, I mean, that was supposed to be...
It's more on the offense, but that's my thing about the defense.
Yeah, this is supposed to be, well, this defense was supposed to carry this team.
Mm-hmm.
And they are getting paid like it. But right now, yeah, you definitely not having a running game, big hindrance, and not having a passing game either doesn't help.
No.
But yeah, the defense, yeah, they should be dominating, and they're not. Speaking of non-dominating defenses, Denver. There's another like ugly team
that team should be above 500. They got a good defense. Not what it was a few years ago, but still a solid defense.
Mm-hmm.
They got rid of Thomas, but they had Thomas, Sanders, decent running game.
Capable
Case Keenum at
quarterback.
capable. Yeah. Should have been a 500 above 500 team, not 3-6.
Yeah, three.
Vance Joseph, one of the worst coaches in the league, I believe.
But he got the approval. He got the vote of confidence just this weekend.
Which means he's gone after the year.
That's true. Or maybe even after the next game.
Yeah. The vote of confidence is quite often a vote of non-confidence.
Oh, the good old vote of confidence.
I believe in you. Oh, no.
Oh dear. Honey, start looking for a new house. Speaking of new house, these guys will be going there in a couple of years. Oakland Raiders. Surprise, surprise, they're in the ugly pile.
So much anger. We went over my anger a few shows ago when all I seen was black.
Oh, the all black, the all black episode.
The all black blackout. The one where I wanted to sack your piggy bank.
Oh, my Chicago Bears piggy bank.
Yeah.
Laughing at you right now.
Oh, yeah. You know what? Oh, man. Gruden, I thought him coming back could be good, but I didn't expect him to lose his mind like this.
Mm-hmm.
Everything Reggie McKenzie is building undone now.
Yeah.
They're showing Thursday night during the game his plan. I guess he's trying the Jimmy Johnson plan when Jimmy Johnson racked up draft picks in Dallas for Herschel Walker. There's one thing, though. Jimmy Johnson was great at drafting. I don't know if I have that faith in Gruden drafting.
Well, his drafting record so far is spotty. It's not the all-championship.
Did he handle the draft in Tampa?
Yep.
Oh, boy.
Yep.
That team actually got worse over time in Tampa.
Yeah. Yeah. So his drafting record, yeah, it's iffy. So has he learned a thing or two in his, 8-10 years away from the game? I don't think so.
Doesn't look like it.
Because you got rid of two of your best players and for draft picks. Two guys that...
This is a team that should have contended this year.
Yeah.
This is a team that should have contended this year.
They should have. Like, you literally traded two guys who are entering their primes.
Now, if I would have smoked something, I wouldn't have the urge to look for something on your table to throw right now.
So, yeah, Oakland, 1-7. Like, you had great faith in them. I was leery of the Gruden factor. But, boy, they are so much worse than either of us ever even considered a possibility. Oh, yeah.
I don't know if that came through on the microphone, but that's about what I think of it.
Some gaseous response to the Raiders' plan.
With some bass.
What do you think of the Raiders' plan? That's what I think of it. Tuba.
Oh, yeah. I hope that hit the microphone.
I hope not. It's a nice microphone.
Yeah. Well, the microphone will survive. You might just have to, sanitize it a bit with a wet wipe or something.
Hey, speaking of sanitizing, I bet there's a lot of New York Giants fans who don't have enough soap to wash their mouths or brains with right now.
Their brains.
1-7 season. What is there in New York to even hope for?
Nothing.
Besides the end of the season. Like, this team is so terrible. Like Eli Manning, it looks like he's done.
Yeah, it does look like he's done.
Odell Beckham, that looks like that was a mistake.
Barkley's like a man on an island.
He is on an island. Like, yeah,
which is a shame because the Giants don't play in Manhattan; they play in Jersey.
That's true. And the Garden State.
Yes.
Yeah. It's that poor garden. Well, there's plenty of manure, I guess, to make a healthy garden from the way that the Giants and Jets have played so far.
Yeah.
But yeah, this is an ugly team. Yeah. Pity Giants fans.
Just bad.
And ending off with another ugly team. So ugly, they even just outright cut their starting quarterback from this season, Arizona Cardinals.
Oh, yeah, Sam Bradford may never play again.
Gonzo.
Yeah, gone. Oh, man. Yeah, Wilkes hasn't been cutting as coach. Arians knew when to get out.
Mm-hmm.
That team, to me, when I look at them on paper, shouldn't be contending. But, man, they should not be as bad as they are.
Mm-mm.
They should be much better. They should be at least like 3 They should be like a 3-6 like Denver. I think. Maybe even a bit better.
I thought they actually had a legitimate shot at being 500.
Yeah, same here.
Like with the players,
like 3 wins, like the bottom end. I mean.
Yeah.
I think Rosen could be an okay quarterback, but they haven't protected him. They got rid of the offensive coordinator a couple weeks ago, and Mike McCoy's actually a pretty decent offensive coordinator. Not a big fan of Wilkes, the coach.
David Johnson,
Yeah.
this is like a premier running back.
Fitzgerald's still there. Kirk's a good young receiver.
Yeah.
They got some good players on defense.
Yeah. That's the thing. Yeah, their defense is a good defense. This is not a defense of bums.
No.
Like, they're an above average defense. So yeah, it's shocking and unexplainable. This 2-6 record.
Yeah.
Yeah. Ugly. Ugly.
And they've really been playing worse than 2-6.
Oh, yeah. They're lucky to have that record.
Like, to have Denver going in them and smoke them on a Thursday night. They're at home on a Thursday night. And usually, I mean, you can lose at home on a Thursday night. Denver's not a long trip.
Yeah.
But usually, for a road team on a short week, Thursday night is not kind.
Yeah.
And they didn't just lose. Like, Denver blew them out of their own building on a Thursday night.
Yeah. All right. Well, that was our Week 9 review of the NFL, our midseason review, really. So, yeah. So, once again, Body, thanks for another great show.
Thank you. Actually, you know what? We didn't have an epic suck or an epic like, but I do have an epic suck.
Oh, I like it.
I just popped on me now.
Uh-huh.
The WWE over the last couple of weeks.
Mm-hmm.
The Crown Jewel event, bringing back Hulk Hogan and exploiting Roman Reigns' leukemia for storylines.
Yep.
I think we could even, like, between us, even share the epic suck on that.
Oh, yeah, definitely. I wholeheartedly approve the epic suck. I have not watched Raw for the last couple of weeks since they did the entire, Ambrose heel turn on the same day that Reigns announced that he's fighting leukemia again. That just disturbed me. I thought it was disgusting. I hated it. I just did not like. Usually, I'm all happy about a heel turn, but I did not like that one.
And then still going to Saudi Arabia for Crown Jewel.
And Crown Jewel, I avoided that entire event as well, because that was despicable what's going on there. So yeah, WWE, they've done many good things in the past, but yeah, these last couple of weeks,
No.
Yeah. Also a suck of the week.
A truly epic double suck.
Absolutely. Double suck. Boo. So yeah. So with that is our show. Thanks for listening. Please remember to subscribe and like our channel and our program and our episode. Thanks again, Body, for another great show.
Thanks again, Mine.
And you've been listening to another episode of the Body of Mind podcast.